Hey everybody, Ira Miller, Homes Around the Villages. Sorry I'm a little bit late today. I actually had a last minute deal I was working on, so I had to try to get that going before I jumped on our Monday Night Live. So here it is, our second show of the month, doing it every other month, and so let's go ahead, and we've been chatting a little bit ahead of time. We kind of got a jump start on everybody. So let's see, the market update. Karen says, yeah, Kevin, Red Sox are in there, aren't they? Okay, let me just get back to the chats here, and then we'll kind of go into things. Probably get into the market for sure. That's kind of one thing that I wanted to do today anyways. Let's talk to everybody a little bit about the market. All right, so let's see. All right, Kevin, don't get me distracted. You're already throwing me off target here. The market update. Okay, Ira and chat, what is up with everyone? Hey, Drew. Hope all doing. It's 43 degrees in New Jersey. I hear it's supposed to be in the 50s, isn't it, Christian? You know what it's supposed to be this morning? Okay, 40 in Rhode Island. I'm flying tonight. Hope Ira has a spare bedroom. Oh, you guys, you haven't seen nothing yet, and you know it.
59 is the low.
So we're going to be in the 50s ourselves here, actually. All right, let's talk about any updates with Margaritaville locations. Did you get back down to Margaritaville? No, I haven't. All right, you want to talk about the market. The market is crazy. Look, I'm going to share with you guys. All right, let's see what I can do here. What is today? All right, so you see all that on that phone, all of that, those are appointments that I have with people. And it's just kind of crazy. This was last week's. This is like every 3 days. But maybe I'll just pull a week up. Here's the week. So there's 1 week. That's how full my calendar is. If you guys want to take a look at that. So I don't have a whole lot of room. I guess I have some on Thursday. So if you call me on Monday and want to go out on Tuesday, probably not going to happen, but I'm sure we'll work something out. We'll get you squeezed in somehow, right? And then next week's looking pretty open. So if anybody's coming on down, that's next week. Just thought I'd share that with everybody. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit of my MLS. All right, so we're going to do a little switch over real quick here. So, all right, so what you see on my screen now is my MLS, and I'll go over here to search, quick. And what it's going to do, it's going to pop up. And then this is where I search for homes. Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. Here's what I wanted to talk to everybody about. You see down here, I don't know, right down here in the very left-hand corner, it says 77 matches. Well, that was 83 matches on Friday. It was 80 matches today. And if I go over here, if I go up to my top left, so where you see my little cursor, hopefully, up here in the top left, I'm going to put pending. Pending in the last 5 days. Okay, let's just not get crazy. All right, so my 77 matches, well, let's take active out because that was 77. So within the last 5 days, I have 32 homes went pending. So that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There you go. Since last Thursday, 32 homes went pending, got contracts on them. So you kind of, so we have 77 listings, right? So anyways, here's the deal. Let's go down here to sold. What was sold in the last 30 days? Whoops, I messed up. I was wondering what happened. That's just day 30. 0 to 30. Okay, down here, look down here. 148 homes closed in 30 days. And then if I said 60 days, 300, 300 homes close, and then we can just go through them all, and we can, I can go by, let's say the top 100. I mean, we can just go through them and see all the homes that closed in the MLS. So, you know, everybody knows that you need 2 agents in the villages, a VLS agent, or, you know, properties of the villages, sales agent you'll need, and then somebody like me. But anyways, kind of that's giving you a little idea of what the market's kind of doing today. I mean, that's in the last 7 days. 34 homes closed in 7 days, and 32 went pending in 5 days. So that's kind of consistent. But so the numbers don't really add up, do they? 77 homes on the market right now. So you'd think, well, in 2 weeks you're going to be out of homes. But that just goes to show you there's homes coming into the market all the time. And so that's where we kick in, right? And when we kick in like that, this is how I can best serve everybody is like, all right, new homes come out every day. And what we do is we set people up on our auto email system. Let me go back to that just a second. Okay. So over here in my drop-down menu, it says auto email. And these are all the people that have told me what they're looking for, when they're looking for, and all that good stuff. Okay, so that's just A through H. All right, so we set you up on this auto email, and then just depending on where you're looking for, how much, where, what community, even what part of the villages if you're looking in the villages. And so that's what we do. We set you up in this auto email system, and then as soon as a new listing comes out of the market, bam, you get that listing pretty much as quick as I do if I have you set up on ASAP. So that's kind of how we do it here. And so that's a little bit of what the market is doing right now. So 77 homes. Last month it was down to like 64. So it's kind of trending up and down like this, but it is kind of going up. It's steady up, but it's kind of up and down. So you're going, just like today, it started at 80 homes. Now we're down to 77. All right, so I hope that, and we'll get back into that a little bit more as we go along. I want to get back and make sure I don't miss anybody on the chats. So market update is what we just got. Number of homes on sale on the MLS up or down from last time. So that's kind of what Jerry, I just did for you. Just showed you we have 77 homes. Last week it was 83. On Friday, when I left on Friday, we had 83 listings in the MLS. Then today I come in, I look at it, there's 80. And then tonight it's 77. So again, we're doing that trend of it's going up, but it's just kind of up and down, up and down, up and down as it gradually goes up. Okay? And I just feel like it's going to continue on that trend. So, let's talk about any updates with Margaritaville locations. Did you get back? So I think, Drew, we already talked about that. I did not get over. Here's the thing. I do not like to take videos. Well, actually, I did get to Margaritaville. I got there about 3:30. Now, they closed the models at 4, right? And no, they closed the models at 4:20. So I got there about 3:30. I said, hey, I want to go over and I want to video the models. And by the time I got inside and started talking to him, it was about 3:45. And she's like, well, you know, if I give you a pass to go in there now, by the time you got over to the models and got set up, it'd be about 4 o'clock. You only have 20 minutes. I'm like, 20 minutes? I can't do it in 20 minutes. Why do I go there so late? 2 reasons. Number one, I was hoping to avoid any people that might be there. I wanted to get there a little bit later because I wanted to video the models without people kind of walking around. I don't want anybody giving me a problem about taking their picture or videoing them or whatever. So I wanted to get there a little bit later for that. And also, the way the sun goes, if the sun is a little bit on the western horizon, it's shining back on the models, on the front of the models. So I don't want to get there, in the morning, because if I'm shooting my video at the models in the morning and the sun is coming up behind them, it's just going to really mess everything up as far as what the picture is going to show. It's probably going to show really dark. So I wanted to get the sun over on that side of the models. I want them shining in. I wanted to get there later. Well, none of that worked out for me. So I guess I have to get in there by 3. All right, so then, and I also want to wait, and this is a hit and miss as well, whether or not it's cloudy or sun shining. I mean, now this time of the year, when the cold fronts come through like they just did, it's a great time to go over there and shoot videos of the models, because when the cold fronts come through, all the clouds are gone. It's a bright, beautiful, sunshiny day over here. So that's kind of the whole deal, Jerry, about going to Margaritaville. It's not just as easy as jumping in the car and running over there whenever I want to. Even though I could, there's just method to my madness. That's why I do what I do and try to time it perfectly. Anyways, I'm sorry, that was for Drew. That wasn't for Jerry. That was for Drew. Drew 43. Number of homes on sale in the MLS. We talked about that, right, Jerry? I'm looking to buy in the Villages in July 2022. Have been pre-approved for a loan. Will there be a good choice of houses available then? So, Ronnie, that's a very good question, because here's the dynamics for buying in the Villages. Here's the typical dynamics in a normal market. So in a normal market, January, February, March. Well, let me just back up. October, right now, starts people coming down to buy their seasonal home, and so those are the ones that want to get. Hold on a second. Those are the ones that want to get a jump start on the market, on inventory. So you have those early bird people, like Jerry Bell was an early bird, and he said the early bird gets the house, right? So anyways, October, people start coming down, buying their seasonal home, their patio villas, their courtyard villas, their small cottage homes. Those are typically smaller seasonal homes, part-time homes for people. Okay? So there you go with that. Then you have renters who rent January, February, and March. And a lot of those renters wait until they come in January. They don't bother coming early. They don't bother getting their home. They go ahead and rent for January, maybe even February. And then they buy their seasonal home when they get here. So that's what the seasonal home market. Now, Ronnie, you're talking about July. So October, November, December, January, February. Pretty strong market for seasonal homes. March, not so much. April really goes down. May is probably the slowest month of the whole year because you're right in between the two different buying seasons. So you have your seasonal home season, which I just explained. Now you have your permanent resident home, and that's when people normally come down to the villages and buy their permanent residence rather than a part-time home. Here's the dynamics to that. A retiree is up north and they have a home to sell. Most of them come and rent in the wintertime, fall in love with the villages, want to be here for the rest of their lives in the winter. They don't want to go back up north for the winter. So what they do is when they do leave, then they put their home up on the market when they go back, and nobody, so that's that retiree who's listing his home. Typically, who buys a retiree's home is a family. It's not usually another retiree. It's usually a family that's buying that retiree's home so he can come up with a pocket full of money and come on down to Florida and buy his full-time home. Anyways, those families aren't going to do anything to those kids who are out of school. They're not pulling their kids out of school at the end of the school year, so they're going to wait, and they usually wait till May anyways. So the families might get a jump on some of the housing market in May rather than waiting right up until the kids get out of school. But it takes like 30 to 60 days up north to go ahead and close on a home. So they go ahead, put a contract in on a home in May, and then they're closing in June or July, and then that retiree gets to come down here and buy. So July is when a lot of people are down here trying to buy their permanent residence. So I thought I would explain to you why, what the dynamics were for purchasing a home, rather than just telling you, yeah, well, you know, it's pretty busy in July. Well, that's why. That's why it's so busy in July to buy your home, okay? So Kevin asked, how are interest rates? I jumped ahead to Marcia because I know I've got to be at a walkthrough for Marcia and then closing. So thank you for that, Marcia. I don't see any reason why we're not going to close. Anyways, going back to what Kevin said, as far as I know, interest rates are still pretty stable. I hope it stays that way. Who knows? I mean, these are some pretty crazy times, and I don't know. I would say, Ronnie, by July of 2022, honestly, I can't see how this market can sustain itself the way it is with the supply and demand. I got a question today. I was showing a home in Ocala today to one of my neighbor's children, and she was saying, are sales still that strong? Because we're talking about what kind of offer should we make on that home. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and here's the reason why. The reason why is because new homes are not supplementing the pre-owned homes as much as they have in the past, simply because building materials are so hard to get. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was telling me 7 months to get trusses delivered to a home. So they can go out there, they can rough in the plumbing, they can pour the slab, they can put the block up, and they're pretty much dead in the water because they have to put the trusses on and then go ahead and frame the inside of the house. And the framers do that all at once. The framers go out there, set the trusses, put the sheeting on top, go ahead and start framing in, the interior walls and all that. So without those trusses and having to wait 7 months for trusses, that's kind of crazy. So that's why this pre-owned market is still as strong as it is. If these new home developers and builders are able to get those homes out, within 4 to 6 months, like they used to be able to. But you can't even get refrigerators. You can't even get, what else is there a shortage of? Glass. There's a shortage of glass. There's a shortage of, I just watched the news. There's a shortage of everything. So everybody asks me, how you doing? Well, you know what? I'm kind of right in there with everybody else in supplies. I don't have enough homes on the market really to be doing as well as I could be if there were at least some new homes coming online, or if the housing market would stabilize, but it's not, and it's being driven because of the lack of new homes. So people are relying on pre-owned homes, and then that's really kind of shoring up the market. So that's why we still have this hugely strong pre-owned home market, because they're already built, they're done, they're just waiting for buyers, and they're just, as soon as they hit the market, then I've got to make a determination on what you should offer on that home. So for an example, Tom and Marcia made an offer on a home with me. The home was listed for $289,900. He asked me what I thought he should make an offer for. I think I told him $310,000. Tom might even be on here. He is a lot of times. Anyways, I think I told him $310,000. He wasn't comfortable with $310,000, so he made an offer at $305,000. Well, we didn't get the home. So I followed up on that home. And I waited the normal 30-day period, and I looked, and I saw that it went from pending to closed. And he was telling me Marcia was a little upset because he didn't make the $310,000 offer. He made the $305,000 offer, and she was wondering had they made the $310,000 offer if they would have a home right now. Well, that home went for $320,000. So it went from $289,900 to $320,000. That's $30,000 more than what the asking price was. It's almost impossible for me to determine what another buyer's determination is to get a home. So when you're making a $30,000 over asking price offer, when that's where the home is valued at, it's pretty hard to kind of determine what another person's motivation is and where they are and what they're willing to offer to get that home. And then you have to worry about, will it appraise? So if you're financing, will it appraise? If it doesn't appraise, are you willing to come up with money at the closing table to make up for the deficit from the listing price or from the appraised price to whatever it is you made an offer on. So if that home only appraised out at say 300, then that buyer has to come up with $20,000 at closing, just to, even if they're financing, because their banker's just not going to give you more than the appraised value. They're not going to make that same mistake, because that's what happened in '05 and '06 when we had that wild market. And so bankers were giving up to 125% of appraised value, 125%. So you can get, what they were trying to do is help investors. Go ahead and giving them the extra money right up front so they can put that money into the house and then flip it. Well, you know the rest is history. You know what happened there. So bankers aren't going to make that same mistake. So if it doesn't appraise, you're coming up with money at closing, or the seller's going to come down to the appraised value. And that's kind of the thing that I was working on before I got on the chat today, because we're wanting to make a $240,000 offer on a $220,000 listing. Well, it's $20,000. We're offering $20,000 over the asking price. You'd think the listing agent would be ecstatic. Well, they're not, because they're worried that if they accept the $240,000 appraise, the $240,000 sales price, that it won't appraise. Then they have to wonder, will my buyer be able to come up with the extra money at whatever it appraises at, because they did their own market analysis and said, well, this is what the home values out at $220. Well, you're offering me $40,000 more than appraised value. Where's the rest of the money going to come from? The bank's not going to give it to you. So, anyways, that was the conversation I had with my buyer right before we jumped on the show here. So that's where we're at. I hope that's a little insight as to what's going on. Now, I keep saying, can this really sustain itself? And on the surface, I wouldn't think so. I mean, how long can a market go roaring along and at this pace? Well, truth be known, if all these homes are getting sold for for this much higher price, well, then appraised value has to go up. So we might get lucky, and the appraiser look and find some comparable homes that sold in the area. Although, like I said, the listing agent already did that and came up with the $220 price. So that's kind of where we are with the market today. But it's just crazy. It kind of blows my mind. I don't have a crystal ball to be able to determine if there's multiple offers, which there usually is on homes down here, and what somebody's willing to offer over list price. And again, whatever the appraisal falls, who knows? All right, so hopefully we've worn that topic out. And then Kevin says we're hoping to buy around April, May, or June. So yeah, in my estimation, I think with what's going on in the world today, I would expect that the home market is going to have a correction. But there's probably not going to be a correction until building materials become more available. So you might just want to be watching for that. All right. There are shortages because we do not manufacture here anymore. The U.S. is no longer a world supplier. We are consumers only, which is sad, and it will only get worse. So, Mike, I tend to agree with you. So anyways, Skip. I was just talking to Skip, He wants to be a funny boy today. All right, Skip, thanks for jumping on the show today, actually. I know everybody loves you. Everybody loves to see that you're on the show. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Jacqueline, how are you? How is who? Me, Mike, Kevin, Ronnie, Glenn? I didn't even address what Glenn was having to say. It's like we're living in a third world country. It would be so easy to get political on this channel, right, Christian? It would be so easy to go down that path, and I try very, very, very hard to stay neutral and try not to go this way or go that way, because we don't want to start going in any direction and offending anybody. So there you go. That's kind of my answer to that one. But that's what I try to do. Is I just try to stay neutral and just give you what I think are the details and whatever's happening. Okay, Jacqueline. Thank you very much. How are you? Thank you for jumping on the show today. Christian, how many people we have on the show? This doesn't even show me.
53 currently.
53 currently. So how does everybody like being every other week rather than just once monthly? So I was trying to beat Skip out on his monthly show and do 2 shows a month rather than 1 show a month. What do you think about that, Skip? I think they'd like to see you a couple of times a month. But anyways, in this crazy wild market, I mean, we can come every 2 weeks and kind of just, everything's going to be different, maybe, from one time or the other. And that's kind of what we want to do. We want to stay in touch. I know a lot of people have podcasts and stuff like that. We just like to try to stay in touch with you through our videos because we feel like that's what we're good at. Right? Yeah. Christian's over here. Usually he's all the way over in another room, and I said, no more. You're going to be right here with me so we can talk back and forth to each other, and he can help me out and get me out of a hole in case, instead of him running all the way from the other side where our office is. Next week, I mean, not next week, but in 2 weeks, I told him, I said, I want to be in the conference room where we're going to have that big monitor back there. I kind of like that. We get off in this little room here, it gets a little stuffy in here, Christian. We can turn that air down in that other one. So, anyways, going back, you're a great personality. Thank you, Jacqueline. I really appreciate that. And Kevin, thank you so much. All right, so Drew's saying, Skip, exit 98, New Jersey Parkway. Great video today of that new home. Good stuff. So is Skip videoing homes? Is he trying to step on my territory? I'm going to have a talk with Skip. He said, I can't do more shows because I don't have a staff. Yeah, you got Sue. Got Linda. Isn't that your staff? Thought it was. So anyways, part of that Zillow has stopped buying. What's that, Roberta? It's reported today that Zillow has stopped buying. Will that make buyers in the villages? Will that make buyers? So yeah, Zillow probably got nailed because if they're buying those homes, well, first of all, I don't think anybody is going to sell out to Zillow anyways, because it's not that hard to sell a home. So why would they accept a low offer from Zillow? Because Zillow is usually about 80% of the value of the true value of the home. They've got to be able to flip it. They've got to pay closing costs, because now if Zillow buys your home at market price, and then they had to go turn around and sell it. So now they're the seller, and the seller pays most of the closing costs. So the seller, if Zillow is the seller, then they're going to go ahead and they're going to pay commission. They're going to pay doc stamps. They're going to pay title insurance. And so that's why Zillow probably got out of the buying market for right now. All right, so Christian kind of hooked me up here. Let's go to News 101. And so Zillow pauses home buying as tech-powered flipping hits a snag. So there you go. That's on Bloomberg News. Oh, wow. There actually looks like maybe they were, on CNN or something. What show is that, Christian? Does it say? Or is that Bloomberg News? I guess it's Bloomberg News. But wow, look at their stock. Their stock really started going down too. And it looked like their stock started going down when they got into the home buying business. So yeah, Bloomberg News is kind of showing online here how that stock was way up here and then it just goes shh. All right. Anyways, I'm kind of glad to see that, honestly, because, well, I'm a realtor. They're taking business from me, to be quite honest. If they're out there buying homes and then turning around and flipping them, I don't know what to think about that. Again, they'd have to inflate the prices. They're probably stuck with a whole bunch of inventory because of that. I just don't see how that could be a good thing. So it says they acquired 3,800 homes in the second quarter and will stop pursuing new purchases because they're probably sitting on a bunch of inventory. Anyways, that's on Bloomberg News for you all to go look at if it's of any interest to you. It is what it is, right? So, so Drew and Skip got their own little thing going on. Actually, yeah, Skip, we do need to get on together. And you never invited me to your house to do a show, but that's okay. I invited you over here to my office and did one together. But hey, it's all right, Skip. I get it. Anyways, just messing with you. Skip got in a brand new home. Okay, probably will take 2 years to recover and get materials. Yeah, Zillow. I like it. There you go. All right. Well, we did one show together, Skip. It was all good, and everybody loved that. All right, so how accurate are the estimates from Zillow, Realtor.com, or truly in your opinion? So what they do is they take all the sales in a certain area and they divide it by how many, an average, and then just say, okay, well, this is what homes are worth based on the average. They do not know what lots cost. Could be on a corner, could be on a cul-de-sac, could be backed up to a street, could be on a golf course. Lots have a lot to do. They drive the prices quite a bit. So, and then they don't know what kind of upgrades. They don't know if it has carpet in there. They don't know if it has LVP. They don't know if it has granite, stainless steel appliances or whatever. So if your home is just an average home, it's probably spot on. But if your home is one of these super homes with all the upgrades, crown molding, chair rail, granite or quartz, or you've really made this home special, you are probably not going to get the right valuation that you wish you would. here's the thing. I have a program that it's kind of like what Zillow does. So I have a program out there. I kind of put it out there on Facebook. It'll say, do you want to know what your home is worth? And so if you do, you put in your address and you put in your email address. And we do exactly what Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia does. We go into our MLS, we crunch the numbers, we get an average and send it out to you. I've had some people just write me and say, you know, how offended they were at the price and they couldn't believe that I would give a valuation like that. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, look, I don't know what's in your home. You didn't invite me in your home. And I say, look, if you want me to do a true evaluation of your home or evaluation of your home, I'd be happy to come over and adjust whatever it is. But some people get really irate about that because I don't know. I don't know if they think I'm lowballing their home or what they think, but I've had that issue, which, I don't like having that issue. So I don't know. We still running that home valuation?
Mm-hmm.
We are still out there on Facebook.
Yes, through Facebook.
Okay. So Christian says it's still out there. Cool.
Actually, it's through Google now. Sorry.
Through Google?
Yes.
Google Ads? All right, so we do it through Google Ads. I guess we switch up, right?
Yeah.
We do a little one time, do a little bit another time.
It's just Facebook wasn't giving us the best results, so we moved to Google for better.
Gotcha. What about YouTube?
Google, it's the same thing. Google Ads goes on YouTube as well.
Gotcha. So we got it covered, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so Jacqueline D says, take it down. Take it down, take it down. Well, you know, like I said, I'd be more than happy to go over there, look and see what they have, and then explain to them why it is what it is. Actually, do I have a video, or is it just put your address here?
We used to have a video, but now it's just put your address through Cloud CMA.
Gotcha. Is there a way to put a video on there?
We can, yes. That's what we had on Facebook, was a video of you explaining.
Well, we can attach a video to the get your home estimate.
The video played beforehand, they clicked on it, and it brought them to Cloud CMA.
Oh, so maybe that's what we need to do. I think I'll make a video first, say, look, this is how it works, and then, you know, I guess explain it in a video just like I just explained it to you guys. Jacqueline, try DuckDuckGo. All right, so what else do we want to talk about? You know, I did talk about, here's another thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about as well. I was talking to somebody today about how to make offers in today's market. So, if we don't have the inventory, which that's a very good chance that we don't have the inventory. Again, as you all can see, there's 77 matches down here. And I set you up on my auto email. I told you we'd be revisiting all this. Where's my auto email? There they are. So, if we have you set up in our auto email, what do we do after that? So, if you're in the market, you can't find a home in the inventory, and you're in the market to buy, what we do is we go over here, we do a search, we do a quick search, and whether you're in the Villages or on Top of the World or Del Webb or wherever, we'll go in, we'll put a price in, we'll say, well, you want to be under $500,000. So we put that up here in the price. And then you tell me, well, we want to be 3 bedrooms, we want to be 2 bath, and we want to be 1,900 square feet or bigger. And then here's the kicker. A lot of people will tell me, I want to be south of 466, which is kind of like right where Lake Sumter Landing is, or my office is right here on 466. So, so what we do is we will put a year in. So if you want to be south of 466, we would go 2004 and plus, which is newer, 2005, 6, 7, 8, whatever. We're getting a lot of people now who want to be south of 466A. They're kind of feeling now that is the center of the villages. So I'll go 2012, 2012, and here's the other thing, and I'm using an example from some people I had today. They didn't want to be down in the new area, so they just said, well, you know, we went down there, we saw an Iris 10, which is kind of a brand new model. You won't even find it on the village's website. We kind of looked it up. But anyways, they're like, you know, we want to be around Brownwood. We want to be in the center of everything, not all the way, you know, to the south. We want to feel like we're more center. We want to be able to get to Lake Sumter Landing and Brownwood, whatever. So I'll go 2016. Because 2017 is where, that's when Finney started. So I came up with, if you look down here, I thought there were 3 matches. Came up with 1 match. So maybe 2 of the homes went under contract. Actually, remember I told you we started out with 80 homes in inventory this morning, and now I see it's 77? Well, we did have, if I go up to my recent searches, right, and I go down to here, 450, that's not what we were looking at this morning. We were, I know it was 3, so 450, 1221, no. Okay. Here's exactly what we did this morning. So yeah, one of those homes actually went under contract today. I'm going to say pending, and I'm going to say today. There's my 3. Let's see which one went pending today. And I told them it would probably happen. The one in Graywood Lane, which that was the one that was a wood frame and vinyl home. And they were saying, well, we don't really want a wood frame and vinyl home. So anyways, one of the 3 homes that they were interested in, this is how we kind of do things here. I guess you can see it on the screen, right? Okay. So this home went under contract today from this morning. And look, it has carpet down here. But it was the lowest. It was the lower price of all 3, anyways. This is an, I believe this is a begonia. Let me see what it says here. Oh, here's another thing. This one says furniture negotiable. Boy, if anybody's been out there trying to buy furniture these days, you can certainly appreciate the fact that you can buy a home with furniture, because I know a lot of furniture 6 to 9 months out before anybody can get any new furniture in there. So, but anyways, just kind of wanted to show you what we do. We'll go ahead and set you up on auto email. We'll come down here. We'll hit save, we'll hit new auto email, and then bam, you're set up, and we get your information up here, and then now you're getting sent homes, and anytime a brand new listing hits the market, you will get that listing, and then you have the opportunity to call me up, and then what I do is I go take a video, throw it over there to Christian, and then he'll go ahead and edit it real quick and get it over to you as fast as we can. So as long as this market keeps doing what it's doing, that's kind of what we have to do. There just isn't a whole lot of inventory. All right, so going back to where we were. Let's see here. Okay, so Mike is telling us his last trip was to the United Arab Emirates. Hope to be in the villages. When was that, Mike? Was that recently? Because I know with all the COVID stuff going on, they're kind of making it difficult for people to move around. And then he hopes to be here in the villages, retired in June. All right, so you know what you're doing. Some people overestimate, you know. Again, we kind of talked about that. So Heather has joined us. Welcome, Heather. Appreciate you jumping on our Monday Night Live. And then Jerry's kind of giving Skip a shout out. So Skip's the celebrity for the day on our YouTube channel. All right, current getting listings from you. Do I call Danielle to get our parameters changed? I would suggest yes. Thank you. If you want it changed right away, Danielle's here. 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Christian's here to 6, except when we do this show. Then he comes in at noon, and then he's here with me till, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock at
Midnight.
Midnight? Yeah, we got to break everything down, and I wish you could see the studio in here. It's quite a, it's kind of just grown and grown. It's like its own animal going on here. All right, so Wrestler Mania. He's saying, hey, the original The Villages YouTuber is in the house, Skip Smith. And Skip, as usual, is ready to go get a beer. Probably I'd be ready to get a beer too right after this. So Heather, is this a 55 plus community? So I'd have to ask you, are you talking about the Villages? Because yes, the Villages is a 55 plus community, but you know, we work with a lot of different communities. If you watch enough of the videos. And then Bebop, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Love it. Hey, it's the world famous Ira Miller. Oh, so now you want to say that before you go and give Skip Smith all that credit. Anyways, thank you, Wrestler Mania. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you jumping on today. We have a look. Wrestler, I think you're just about as famous as anybody else on these chats. You know, you get in there with Skip and hanging out. You're a very well-known celebrity on his channel, I would have to say. So thank you for those compliments. I appreciate it. All right, so what else can we talk about? We've talked about the market. Oh, I forgot. So I was going down a path and I just kind of messed up. So here, let's kind of go down where I was going with all this. All right, so anyways, some of the advice that I give goes like this. Let's see. We're going to go back. I'm gonna delve into contracts. Hopefully, you all are okay with that. I don't want to bore you too much with it, but we have, let's go back to one of these others. All right, so we have 3505 Bearing Terrace, right? So what I do is I have a little program over here called Form Simplicity. Form Simplicity is where all my contracts are located. So they auto-populate all the information from the home when we do this, okay? And so well, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and do this. So this is the Margaret Harrison and Alan Arwiner are the owners of that property. Julie Daniels is the listing agent. We're going to enter in a price of $450,000. Just want you to see how everything works for me. And then Skip Smith is going to go ahead and he's going to be buying this home. How's that? Wait a minute. Better add Sue in there. She'll get mad. There we go. And I can't type. All right. Skip, you're buying a home. And then there's my information. And then we go save for a transaction. We'll say enter a transaction name. We'll say same as the address. We'll just say purchase. And we're going to say residential. All right, so where do we go from here? All right. This is where we go. So I have to have a conversation. And my conversation is when we're dealing with homes in this market, especially if you're not here buying one locally. You're not here locally buying a home. What I suggest a lot of times is let's go ahead and do what's called an as-is contract. So don't get worried about the as-is. A lot of people get, oh, I don't want to buy something as-is. Trust me, this is to your benefit. All right, so this is an as-is contract. What are the huge benefits to you, the buyer? Right away, you would think as-is for the seller, right? They're selling their home as is. You, the buyer, have to buy it as is. So let's talk about that. Well, I would direct your attention down here to paragraph 12 in this contract, right? So let's keep going down. We're at 10. And
Skip asked how much he's spending.
$450,000, Skip. Pocket change for you, buddy. Anyways, okay, so right here, paragraph 12, property inspection, but most importantly, right to cancel. Property inspections and right to cancel. Buyer shall have X amount of days. Now, instead of the 15, if we have somebody that's up north, they're looking to buy a home, and we go ahead and write up a contract. I want to say, okay, we have 10 days in which to have our inspection. Now, read right here. And I'm going to take the highlight off. If buyer determines in buyer's sole discretion, what does that mean? That means for any reason that the property is not acceptable to the buyer, buyer may terminate this contract by delivering written notice of such election to the seller prior over here to the inspection date, the inspection period. If buyer timely terminates, the deposit paid shall be returned to the buyer. Thereupon, buyer and seller shall be released from all further obligations. That's why this as-is contract is huge for somebody who is not here but wants to come down and look at the home in person. It buys us time. This is what it does. It buys us time. And if you don't like the home for any reason, as long as we cancel within this 10 days or 15 days or whatever we put in there, we're good. Let's say you like the home, but the carpet in there is worn, right? So you might say, I don't know, I'm just using examples. You might say, I'll buy it, Mr. Seller, but in order for me not to cancel this contract, I'd really like a credit for the carpet that's in there because the carpet is worn. I want to put tile in there. I want to put luxury vinyl planking, whatever. This gives us the opportunity to do some negotiations too. So don't think you have to buy it as is, even though it says it's an as is contract. We can go ahead and spell out any terms that we want because we're in the driver's seat. We can cancel this contract at your sole discretion. So this is a huge, huge way of buying a home without feel like you're getting stuck with the home. So if that's something that you might want to do and you might be worried about it, then we have the other, the other thing is, all right, we're not going to buy this one. Close without saving. Okay. But let's say, you know what? We really like the home. I went out there. I checked it out for you. I think, hey, this is a really nice home. We've done a video. We've kind of looked at everything. And, it's just a matter of you just kind of signing off on it. We're going to go back to my Florida contracts, and then we're going to go all the way down here instead of as is. We're going to go all the way down here to residential. Now, this is called a standard or conventional contract. This is what normally takes place in a contract. And look, if you guys are coming down and you're here to buy and you want me to send you one of these blank contracts to read over ahead of time, hey, I'm more than happy to send this out to you so you can look it over. It'll help you and it helps me. Saves me time and you can read it at your leisure. Okay? But we'll go down to paragraph 12 again. And paragraph 12 is going to tell us a little bit differently now. All right, so here's paragraph 12. We have an inspection period. It does not say anything about being able to cancel the contract because you cannot, okay? But what it does say, these are all the things in this where it says property condition. These are all the things that need to be repaired on this home. If there's torn screens, have to be repaired. If the sprinkler system's not working, has to be repaired. All major appliances must be working. There's something called working condition. Everything needs to be in working condition versus cosmetic conditions. So here you are tied to the contract. And so, but it forces the seller to make the repairs that are in the contract. It forces the seller to make this home in good working condition. All right, so there's the difference between a standard conventional contract and an as is. All right, so there's a little bit of a contract lesson for you all today. So, students, do you have any questions about that? All right, so let's go back. Yeah, that's a lot of beers for $450,000. All right, I think we can deal with Grandpa Ira. What? We can take Sue's old wheelchair with us if we feel Ira will need it. Wait a minute. Now listen, I kind of pride myself on here's a really good story, though. I don't know if y'all know I'm 65 years old. I have a 19-year-old, okay, do the math. And I have a 21-year-old, do the math again, 44 and 47. So I go to my kids' class when they're little, like, I don't know, they're like 5 or 6 years old, and we had to do parent involvement hours at the charter school, the village's charter school. And so we had to do parent involvement hours. We had to read to the kids, so I'm up there reading, and my son is sitting right up there in the front, and I watch one of his little friends whisper, "Hey, is that your grandpa?" He's like, "No, that's my dad." Anyways, just one of those little stories, Wrestler Mania for you, talking about grandpa. That brings those stories to light. All right. So let's see. Let's go back, because I kind of lost my place here. Brian, if you go to buy a house with an older roof and need it insured, the best rate I've found is with Universal Property and Casualty out of Fort Lauderdale. They don't even ask for the age of the roof. Christian, write that down. Universal Property and Casualty out of Fort Lauderdale, which is where I'm from, actually. Fort Lauderdale. That's cool. That's good to know. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Let's see. Ira, if you were going to a 55 and older, would your choice be the Villages? So that's kind of like talking about politics and religion, Mike. It's like you don't talk about politics, religion, or where you would go, I don't think. Anyways, that's kind of changes with the wind, I would say. All right, I had somebody last week that called me on that. So we started talking about the villages of Citrus Hills. And the villages, is that video up?
No, I still have to finish it.
All right, so we're working on a brand new community called the Villages of Citrus Hills, somewhere out there between Crystal River, which is over on the west coast by the Gulf, and Inverness. It's about, I don't know, it's about 40 minutes from here. Villages of Citrus Hills. I used to think it was a 55 plus community. Found out they call it 55 suggested. So, meaning they suggest that you're 55 years of age and older. This is a phenomenal community, but the lowest priced home in there is $500,000. Can't really find one less than that, I don't think. So, yeah, that's a fantastic community. I mean, I really like it. It's out in the middle of nowhere. I don't care if there's no shop. There's a little shopping center there, but you have to come back to Ocala, or even Tampa might be, in driving range over there to go shopping. But he said, well, I thought Latitude Margaritaville is where you were going to go live. Because my wife loves the beach. And they have that shuttle where I can take my little cooler, get on the bus with all of my libations. Skip, you'd like that. And then they take you to the beach. You can drink all you want. You can enjoy yourself. Have a great time. And then they shuttle you right on back and no driving. There you go. I kind of thought that was pretty cool. But it's all a personal preference. So I meet people here in the villages. We talk about the villages. We go right around. We look at the villages. I listen. And then based on what they tell me is where I kind of think the best place to go would be. And that's how I discovered On Top of the World. There's so many people that thought, the village is so big, I'm just not, it's just too big for me. And I used to say, okay, well, it is what it is, I'm sorry, bye. you know. And then I just started saying, wait a minute, there's got to be other places. Let me look around, because I just got tired of people saying the Villages was too big, Villages was too crowded, too much traffic in the Villages, or whatever. I mean, I'm just telling you what people would tell me. So that's when I discovered On Top of the World. That's when I discovered Del Webb, Stone Creek. You know, the other go-to places were Stonecrest and Del Webb, Spruce Creek, but a lot of people are saying, those homes just, you know, they feel too old to me, you know, because they've been around since the 80s, I guess. So, so I had to get creative, which is what I did, and that's why I do what I do, and that's why I went to Latitude Margaritaville and checked that place out. And then Villages of Citrus Hills, check that place out. So, Christian, got to get that Villages of Citrus Hills up now that we talked about it.
Yep.
So, anyways, let's see.
Just so you know, the video that's announced later took the place of it.
Yeah, okay. All right, let me go down a little bit here. I think I'm losing my place here.
By the way, 73 currently.
All right, so, wait a minute. WrestlerMania, you are on, Skip. Next meetup, the beers are on me. Call me, Skip. If he's buying the beers, there you go. We might even invite Ira if he is nice to us. Yeah, I might even buy a round myself. How's that? I'd be down with that. All right, if you go to buy a house, okay, so I think I answered that. Thank you, Brian, for that information. We wrote that down. We're going to share that with other people as well. Ira, if you're going to do a 55 and older, what would your choice be the Villages? So, Mike, here's the thing. I've worked in the Villages for 21 years, going on 22 years. I don't really see, so you're asking me if I retire, or when I retire, I think, right? Where are we? If you were going to a 55 and older. I don't think so, to be honest with you. And you know what? The Villages isn't for everybody, and the Villages is for a lot of people. So I can just tell you what's right for me, you know. And my wife works for Citizens First Bank, who is owned by the Villages. My kids went all the way through the Villages charter school from pre-K 3. Actually, my daughter she repeated twice because she went in there when she was 2. And then when she turned 3, they made her go pre-K 3 again, all the way through high school, and now she's going to FSU. But everything I went through with the Villages, properties of the Villages, with the Villages sales office, I mean, to me, I'm just kind of burnt out on it. So I've kind of lived here. Honestly, I've spent more time here in the Villages than I do in my own house, really. And so after 21, 22 years, probably not. You know, I'm going to go somewhere else that's new, that's fresh. They got a lot of stuff here. But I don't really see myself really retiring here, since I've already been here 22 years and I feel like I've lived here that whole time. Time for something different, for me anyways. All right, hopefully that kind of answers your question. Yeah. Oh, so that's where the elder thing came up. I just now got to that. All right. I got you. All right, Skip. Let's see. Congrats on the purchase of your new home, Skip. It's a beautiful home. How much am I spending? Oh, okay, there we go. Let's rent it out to WrestlerMania's prices of homes go up, so does rent. Yeah, I mean, $4,000 a month for a home in the wintertime, $12,000 for 3 months. Whew. It's a lot of money. But really, this is the only place you can rent a house. I mean, I even have people who are building a home or want to buy a home or whatever somewhere else, this is the only place you can go to rent a home for short term by the week or by the month. So they have to come to the villages. The other places don't let you do that. I get Heather, she's giving all kind of hearts and kisses, and is that for Skip? Let's see. Skip will spend a lot of money to keep a fridge full of beer in 2 places. We've already talked about WrestleMania. I think we can deal with Grandpa Ira. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Jacqueline, thank you for coming to my defense. I believe. Thank you. Yeah, Cindy thinks, Skip, you need to buy a few more homes there, buddy. All right, so 50-50 Ira and give Ira sale credit. Yeah, there you go. Speaking of, yeah, got to keep it a secret. Anyways, speaking of, I did go into a investment group one time. We bought 6 homes, and there were 3 other partners. My wife and I were my wife and I were really number 2, and then 2 other partners came on board. So we got more houses. We bought 6 houses with 4 partners, and man, those partners were mad. They were mad that I made commission on all the houses that they bought. Now, none of this was money out of their pocket, but they were still mad that I was able to make a commission and roll it into and invest in these homes. Plus, I put a bunch of money in there. But anyways, that's another story. But that kind of brings me to that, when you were talking about that, about the giving Ira the sale credit. Well, thank you, Cindy. That is a great compliment. She says, I try to watch Ira as he is an encyclopedia and honest. I think I've just been around way too long is the only problem here. All right, so I don't know, I think maybe we're to where I was doing the contract. Wow, this is really a lot of great information that came. I just came in to mess with Skip, and Ira's forcing me to actually learn something. He must be a great teacher if a bad student like me learns. You know what? I wish I had a picture of Skip. And I could put a picture of Skip up here next to me. And then we can say, okay, who's the grandpa here? I'm not a grandpa. Like I told you. My son's 19. My daughter's 21. It's going to be a long time before I'm a grandpa. So there. So there was method to my madness when I had those kids that late. So Heather is 56 years young. And hey Christian, can we kick Skip and WrestleMania off the chat here?
We can permaban if you want.
We can ban them?
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all better behave then. Okay, so Wrestler just working on the next Wednesday Night Live, taking a break. There you go. I'm sure just that one Wednesday Night Live a month keeps Skip pretty busy. Would like to know more about the villages, but want just 55 plus only. So Heather, have you been here before? That's my question to you. Have you been to the villages? And then, okay, look at what Marcia's saying. We were originally going to go to the villages, but decided to go to Stone Creek in Ocala. Very excited. We got them a beautiful home. And there is nobody behind them. It's like a park setting back there. And yes, Jerry Bell, I do want a boat. So That's why I'm still working. Well, not to mention both my kids are in college, so that's draining the pockets right there, and that's why I can't get a boat yet. So did you? No, I haven't. All right, Heather. So you have not been here to the villages. So hopefully, do you have any plans on coming to the villages? I sound like a sales agent, don't I? So my retirement zip code is Little River, South Carolina. Can you what's that? What's in Little River, South Carolina? Actually, I just came from North Carolina. Came from the Outer Banks, a couple months ago? Was I in the Outer Banks? Love it up there, actually. And little Geo, man. Kevin, you want me to put Geo on the channel? I'm sure I got some pictures I can put up in the video camera. Nice. Oh yeah, Christian's showing me Little River, South Carolina. There it is with all the boating going on. That's me. That is me. I was just asking the question whether you could be banned. Not that I would ban you, I was just asking the question. Okay, so we have somebody saying, spent my first day in the villages on Sunday, loved it, of course. All right. So Kevin, let's see. Oh my gosh, I have 27 text messages. That's pretty crazy. Oh, Kevin must have sent me a bunch of pictures. Skip sent me some pictures too. Let's see. There he is. There's my little buddy. There's little Geo. Hey, Geo. Giovanni. That is a little cutie. That's Kevin's mini-me. Right, Kevin? That's your mini-me. He looks just like Kevin. Kevin, you want me to put you up there, bud? There's Kevin. In case anybody wants to see Kevin, there's Kevin and Geo together. Didn't I tell you it looks just like Kevin? I don't know about that Patriots. What happened to the Patriots, Kevin? They let me down. Dallas took them out. Anyways, all right, back to the show. So Heather, when you coming down? I would caution you about coming down in January, February, or March. You will spend a lot of money. All right. Let's see. Hold on. What did Skip send me here? Oh.
Old man for them.
Oh my gosh! No wonder I've got so many. This is Skip. That's what I get from Skip. Okay. That's the stuff that I get from Skip. Yo. Thanks, Skip. Got you covered, bud. Love it. This guy is crazy. All right, that's cool. Very cool. All right. So, let's see what we got here. Anything else pressing? Nope. Nope. All right, took care of that business. Edward Kane moving from New Jersey to new build home in 2 weeks. And so you are going to avoid that New Jersey winter, aren't you? That's cool. What do you mean lost?
Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? We do carry on like two brothers, I'll tell you, Skip. What about Patriots?
Lost.
Oh, I know they lost.
No, that's what Kevin.
Oh, when I asked you what happened to the Patriots, I know. And really, I like that quarterback. I was really hoping to see, what's his name, Mac Jones. I was really hoping to see him do a little bit better. I mean, he almost took out Tom Brady. I mean, that kid's got a good future for sure. Yeah, I know, Kevin. I know. Wasn't rubbing it in or anything. So, it looks like WrestleMania and Skip checked out. All right, everybody, 7:30. We've been running for about an hour and a half. Is there anything else that you would like me to go over? Would you like to tell me anything before we wrap it up here? So we can carry on that conversation. Kevin, when you coming down again? Anytime soon? So Jerry, he's going to buy me a boat, I think. Right, Jerry? All right. Anyways, here's another tip from Brian. If the seller's agent is cheap and posts terrible quality videos, hurry like mad to see it. You stand a chance to get your offer accepted, and it may look good in person. Thank you, Brian. You have got some very good information. I appreciate that. Please make sure you come back on our channel here. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. We're going to do this every 2 weeks. That's kind of what y'all pretty much told me. And what is Jerry trying to do?
Boat emoji.
A boat?
Mm-hmm.
My boat? Is that Little River, South Carolina? Cool. All right. Well, Kevin, stay warm, buddy. I know you're up there in the cold. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching tonight. It was a pleasure talking with you all. Hopefully, I got a little bit of market information in there, a little bit of contract information is kind of what I do when I meet with people. I just kind of try to go over and give you the best information from my experience. And anyways, we'll see you in a couple weeks. And if you need to ever get a hold of me, you can text me or call me at 352-204-9026. Kristen will put that in the chat. Or email me at homes, H-O-M-E-S, aroundthevillages@gmail.com. Thanks for being on the show. Thank you so much for watching. And thanks for watching my videos. And I'll see you. And if I can do anything to help you, just let us know. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks.